Of course it is. And the truth often is. Our aim is quite simply to tell the truth. I mean, there is a large lack of knowledge of what Sharia law actually stands for, what it does to women, how it treats women. And our aim is simply to tell the public, warts and all, what Sharia is, its views of women, its views of free speech, its threat to democracy, how it is operating in Britain, the organisations behind it and what their agendas are, and indeed the public support that such organisations receive from public figures.
What sort of thing do you have in mind? I mean, what's pushing you to do this now? Where do you see the threat coming in daily life from Sharia?
Well, it's the acceptance of it by the mainstream. That is a huge issue. If you look at what Sharia says about women, for example, it essentially advocates the slavery of women. If you strip it away and bear it down, that's what it is. It is the slavery of women. It's the ownership of women. It degrades and humiliates women. And yet it is accepted by the mainstream and supported by mainstream figures.
When you say it's accepted, I mean, Britain still applies the rule of British law. Where is Sharia coming into public or even private life where you see it being promoted or accepted in a way that makes you fearful?
We have a network of Sharia councils and tribunals which are dealing increasingly with matters of family law, such as divorce, child custody, but also with domestic violence, which is a criminal matter. No private tribunal or council has any legal right to adjudicate on criminal matters, and yet they are doing it without a murmur of protest from the establishment. We're consistently told that this English law is there for everyone who needs it. This is a non-answer. It's a non-response. It's cowardly. What they're essentially saying is that women who are brutalized often don't speak English, often are newcomers to this country. The government's response is that those women should somehow find the confidence and courage to stand up and demand rights they don't even know they have.
You believe there are numbers of women in Britain, presumably Muslim women, who you think are facing Sharia justice in some kind of community setup, and you believe that's wrong?
Of course. I mean, we don't believe it's happening. We know it's happening. The Islamic Sharia Council is quite open about this, as is the Muslim Arbitration Tribunal. So we know it happens. In research for Baroness Cox's bill, for example, the bill she has introduced to the Lords to bring these places into line with human rights laws, many women who have been through them were interviewed. It was confirmed to us, for example, that Muslim women need a witness for every testimony she gives, because a woman's word is worth half of a man's. This is even confirmed by, for example, Aina Khan, who is a pro-Sharia advocate and a lawyer. So we don't suspect it's going on. We know it's going on.
And you presumably are not in favour of the Law Society's recent decision to issue guidance to British lawyers who are asked to draw up wills according to Sharia law. You presumably oppose that.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's the same message. It's this sanitizing of Sharia. It creates in the public mind an impression that there's nothing wrong with Sharia, that it's not misogynistic. It sanitizes Sharia. It makes people think, well, if the Law Society is issuing guidance on it, it can't be that bad.
You feel that the authorities or the establishment are turning a blind eye to this at the moment. If that's true, why would they do that?
Oh, many, many reasons. There are many reasons. Fear is chief among them. I think they're afraid of being accused of Islamophobia, for example. Individuals are afraid of violence. I get death threats. The violence is very
You
real.
personally have had death threats?
Yes, I have. Yes.
What sort of thing?
Well, I get threats into my email inbox on a regular basis, but for one example, I was due to give a speech in a university in East London. A man came in with a camera, filmed everyone there, and said he knew who we were and he would track us down if we said anything negative about the Prophet. But the government is afraid of upsetting the Islamist establishment.
And what about do you have any notable figures or members of Parliament who are behind Sharia Watch? I mean, are you a one-woman band at the moment?
No, I'm not a one-woman band. I don't have any specific MPs, but we are very new. Obviously, we're only launching today, and we hope to gain support as we go along.
Presumably you're prepared for an outcry amongst those Muslim and non-Muslim in Britain who say we're a multi-faith society, multi-ethnic society. The setting up of Sharia Watch is going to be labelled, at best, racist.
Of course. You know, I'm used to it. This has got nothing to do with race. Islam is not a race. Sharia is not a race. This is a civil rights issue, a human rights issue, a democracy issue, a freedom of speech issue. We're not against anyone. We are defending gender equality, defending freedom of speech. If that brings us into conflict with Sharia, then so be it.